Hi, I'm Lita Leapins.
And I'm Jim Gordon.
And welcome to another episode of Our City Tonight, a very special episode.
Yes, our old friend, well, he's not old, but we've been friends a long time. No, you're not. Dave McCann from Creek House here on Granville Island joins us for another episode. He was with us last fall when we did a spotlight on Creek House. Now we're going to do something, as Lita said, we've never done on our show in its 7.5-year history. Dave, explain to our viewers what we are doing on this farm-to-table episode.
What's coming up?
Well, one of the things that's really important to me, and I think to most Canadians, is family. And family is not just the people you're related to, it's the people that you open your heart to. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey to a farm, to the P&E, to a loving spoonful. We're going to talk about the Vancouver Sun's Adopt a School meal program for kids. And I'm going to tie it all together because they're all part of my extended family.
What a cool
And
way
it's
to
about
see.
food.
Yes, and what a cool way to see so many different areas in BC, really.
Yep.
You know, not just downtown like Jim and I stay.
Yeah, boy, he's going to get me out to Pitt Meadows, folks, and I will not be in a suit jacket.
Boots?
Well, no, I'll have boots on. You will. Hey, if you also saw Dave's last appearance on our show, we did a spotlight on the statue behind us, which was just being placed in where it is now, the family. Later in the show, Dave's going to talk more about that, and we'll cover the ceremony to officially commemorate this wonderful piece of work. That's all coming up.
Yeah, we're very excited. So you're going to see it right after this.
Well, do not adjust your sets. Dave McCann and I have gone from downtown with Lita out to the farming areas of Pitt Meadows. Yes, Jim Gordon, city boy, on a farm. Dave, and Dave has been kind enough to say, Jim, you're not in a tie or a suit jacket. Dave, what a lovely drive out here. You see, we were talking on the way out here that you see so much of the world, but you see so little of your own backyard. And this is literally our backyard, but we were out at this wonderful farm. What have you brought me out to see here today?
I brought you out here to see a number of 4-H kids and their animals that they're raising as part of their 4-H projects. There's some steers and some hogs here, and I believe we have a young lady here that's going to talk about raising lamb.
This is part of the whole cycle. We've set this episode up, this very unique episode, as a kind of a cycle from beginning to the end. And talk a bit about 4-H if you could. We'll have more on that later in the show, but your experience with them.
Well, I was in 4-H when I was a kid, and I mean, it was a wonderful experience. I mean, it was a different time. I mean, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have phones that you look into all day long.
Yeah.
And it really kept us occupied. It gave you a real connection to the land. It certainly, I've got friendships that I made in 4-H that I still have to this day. Many of them have passed, but, and it gave me a deep appreciation of where the food on the table comes from. And I think most people today don't. And the nice thing about coming out here and meeting the 4-H kids, I've been supporting 4-H out here for over 25 years, buying animals at the P&E, and you'll see later in the episode where the meats I've been buying has actually been going.
Okay, let's go meet some of these 4-H kids. Well, I was told years ago when I began my TV career to be careful working with kids and/or animals. I'm working with both here. We're continuing our 4-H discussion. I'm joined by some of the members here, the younger members of our journey in this episode with Dave McCann. I'm going to start with you, Kylie. You've got a very large cow beside. I'm a city kid, so this is the way I'm looking at it. You're the educated one. Tell us about your experience with this program.
Yeah, my experience in 4-H has been amazing. I started off with a pig project, and then I saw at the shows everyone around me with beef animals, and I decided that I wanted to join. I've been in beef for 2 years now, and it's amazing. I love it so much. You
were telling me earlier, too, that this is a large commitment in a good way, right?
Yeah.
You're looking after this cow, and this cow lives on your farm.
Yes, he does.
And you are, what's the name of the cow? Do you have a name?
Albert.
Albert. Okay. McKenna, we're going to trade mics here. Your experience so far.
My experience so far has been pretty short, but I've been around it for a while. I've always found a great interest in watching the kids develop with their animals, and I really thought it would be fun to experience myself. So that's why I started, and I also wanted to learn more about where everything comes from, which is part of this whole thing. Yeah, I thought it would be really great to be able to personally experience it myself.
My experience in 4-H has been pretty good. This is only my first year, so I haven't really been around it for too long, and I haven't seen much of it. And I never really thought you could really show a cow or walk around and cuddle with a cow. But my experience has been pretty good.
You kids are obviously in school. Talk about the commitment.
Commitment, it's a lot. You start with this 6-month-old calf, and you need to train it to be able to be around people. They're not born with the sense of safety around humans. So you need to train that into them, that you are a safe place, as well as learning their personality. Each one is different, so it takes a lot. But like with feeding and everything, you feed morning and night. Cleaning is every day. You gotta make sure they have a clean environment. And yeah, like he said, the washing, the showing, all that is all part of it, so it's a lot.
Well, I want to thank you guys. They've been extremely well behaved, other than the occasional number 1 and number 2 somewhere in the neighborhood. But other than that, thank you for joining us on this day. Well, more members schooling me on what it's like to be part of the 4-H club. I'm joined by Sadie, Quinn, Paige. They aren't looking after, and I guess, parenting cows. They actually have different animals here. So Sadie, we'll start with you. What animal are you looking after, and tell us of your 4-H experience?
So right now I'm looking after 4 different sheep. I have 3 lambs.
Yeah.
2 are for market, and then the other 2, one's a yearling, so it's when it's 1 year old, and then it gets shown before, so it's going to be bred. So you show it like it's going to be bred, so you want it to have breed characteristics in it. And then the ewe lamb is kind of just a lamb that you're looking for the best things for in the future. So you're looking for things that are going to work for.
Okay. Quinn, you and Paige, you both take turns on the microphone. You're both looking after pig or swine, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about your experience.
Okay, right now I'm only raising a market swine, a market pig, and well, there's not that much, but it's quite a commitment, because you need it to get used to you and the cane training, and yeah, you feed it twice a day, and yeah, we just take shifts because we don't love going out there.
Well, we also, I mean, I keep forgetting that you young people are in school too, so it's as you're saying to Sadie, it's a big commitment. You want to jump in here,
Sure.
Paige?
Yeah, I am doing a carcass hog this year. So that means I will not be selling it at the P&E, but as a private animal, because I also have a show steer, which I have been spending a lot of time with. So that makes my schedule a lot more busy because I have 2 animals instead of 1. So it's a lot of commitment for me as well, because I have to be out with my steer probably maybe around 2 hours each day. And then I also have to go with my my pig, so then I have to do another hour out there feeding, training, brushing. So it's just a lot of work.
Well, as we were saying to the last group, I'm getting a real sense of the commitment level.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's just school, 4-H, which is great. That's what you love doing. So I thank you 3 for helping us learn a little more here at the farm. Well, we couldn't leave this serene setting out in Pitt Meadows without meeting the owners. They have welcomed us here today, guys. We want to thank you very much on behalf of Dave and I and everybody else.
Thank you very much.
We'll start with you, Henry. How long have you had the farm?
30 years. We had a dairy farm before, and we bought this 30 years ago, yes.
You were showing me all around this place today. How long have you been working here with your dad?
So, you know what, it's been 30 years, so I've been here on and off. I mean, I've got my own family. I live not on the farm itself, I just live in town. And this is my happy place. This is where I like to spend a lot of my time.
I was saying to you earlier, Dave and I both living downtown, it's like just the peacefulness out here. I'm hearing a little bit of traffic, but it's mostly just nature, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah. Dave, any last words before we head to our next
Henry, thanks a
destination?
million for hosting us today. It's an absolute pleasure to thank you.
Very welcome.
And the same to you. Thanks again. Really
Very
appreciate
welcome.
all your support of 4-H.
Okay, let's move on to our next, I guess, destination along the way. Well, we've gone from the farm earlier this summer to the P&E. David is with us, and oh my goodness, my co-host is finally joining us, Lita Leapins.
And I'm a little bit more appropriate than you are, Jim.
Well, I don't have a cowboy hat on,
Dave's
but
got
other
the
than
right
that,
boots on, everything. Yeah, we knew the assignment.
David, as you've been walking us through this episode, the next stage in our journey, Farm to Table, tell us what we're doing here at the P&E. Hasn't opened yet, and the event is starting soon, but what are we going to see here today?
What you're going to see is the culmination of the kids' hard work over the last year raising their animals. And some of them are bringing them here to go in the 4-H auction. People buy them for themselves. A lot of people buy them and donate them to various food banks and other community groups. And I buy them and give them to a loving spoonful. So this is the next stage in progression of the story that started on Granville Island. I came here to sell some art, wandered in here, bought an animal, called Easter, and said, "You want to buy it? You want to steer?" And I've been at it for over 25 years now.
Yeah, well, you grew up on a farm, so you're probably very, very comfortable here, and you're showing us around. Yeah. And
lots of fond memories.
It's a great place. I came here as a kid as well, and I love to see all the animals. And
10 years ago.
I don't think
I shouldn't be laughing, actually. Yes, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Talk about what this does for the kids. Now, we saw the kids on the farm earlier.
Yep.
What are we going to see with the kids here today?
You're going to see the kids coming here, and you'll see them bringing their animals in. They've trained them. They have to exhibit them properly. And the kids get to see them, going out the door to the table.
Right.
And for them, it's a financial win. They get the money. Many of them spend the money on their animals for the next year, and they invest it in their education.
Perfect. Well, it seems like a really great connection all around, and watching it go from the beginning to the end.
It's been fun connecting with my youth again.
Yeah, well, thanks, and thanks for showing us all this, too.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for doing this.
You bet, pal. Okay, let's go check out the auction and everything else that's happening here today.
So Jim met you on the farm, and now here I am talking to you on the very big day. What happens today at the auction?
On auction day, we tend to sit around here and buyers will walk through and talk to us and ask us about the preparation that we put into it and just ask questions about our steers. And then at the end, they will all crowd around and bid on the steers.
And so how are you feeling today?
It comes with a lot of sadness, but also it's very rewarding, and I feel very proud to be standing here with such an amazing steer this year.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Well, good luck today.
Thank you so much.
I know it's a lot of competition, but you got a beautiful animal there.
Thank you.
Well, they're taking a little break at the auction right now, and you can still hear the animals braying.
Animals don't take breaks.
I never knew sheep were so loud. Oh my goodness.
This really is kind of stepping out of what you're used to zone. I have to admit, I've never been to a live farm auction before. The bidding is fast and furious. As we said, the kids are all excited too, because it's money raised will help them, which is fabulous. So, any other thoughts? You were up close and personal as I was on the farm?
Yeah, no, it's very much a profession, but there are emotions involved, and that's what's really cute. And there's some gorgeous animals.
Yeah, no, it's the crowd here today is great. A little smaller, but that's to be expected after something like COVID. But we're meeting a lot of wonderful people here today, and a great sense of community here too.
Very much, very dedicated to the craft. Well, I'm here with one of the very important men for this auction, the auctioneer. Now, you've had this in your family for some time. Tell us the origins of you becoming the auctioneer today.
Well, my dad went to auction school in 1953 down in Mason City, Iowa, became a livestock auctioneer, got involved with the P&E 4-H auction back in the 1960s, and our family, between our farm auction company, my dad, who's passed away now, myself, I took over. I myself was in 4-H back in the 60s and early 70s, and so I've been through all this just like the kids here today.
Oh, fantastic. Now, what do you expect to see today? Tell us a little bit about what your experience has been.
Well, we're probably going to see a few tears today. These kids have spent probably a year with their beloved little hog or their lamb or their steer. But these are kids that have grown up on the farm, and they understand the process of farm to plate, and that's what we're seeing here today. They've done a great job, so kindly raised these animals, so humanely raised them, and they know what the end result's going to be. And today they're going to sell their animals, but they're going to hopefully come into some real nice money that they're going to use for their, and a lot of them use it for their education, moving into agricultural fields.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we all know we need more farmers. We need to keep our food flowing. So well, congratulations to all the kids. We're looking forward to what happens today. And thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, we've been doing this for many years in my family. We have local people that are farmers and in the auction business that come and volunteer as well.
Oh, nice.
And so it's something I look forward to every year to help out all these good kids, farm kids, most of them here at the Peony.
Thanks, Ian.
All right, thanks so much.
And 175, 475, 475.
Well, this is pretty much our last stop on the journey of this episode. We're here at a wonderful place that does wonderful work, A Loving Spoonful, joined by Lisa Martella, the executive director, here on Powell Street. And Lisa, we're up in the offices right now. You've got all your volunteers downstairs working to get the meals out. I think it's safe to say that most people in the Lower Mainland would know the name and the goodness attached to it. But give our viewers an idea of your history and all that you do, and then we'll talk about how you've expanded over the last couple of years, thanks in large part to COVID. You take it from there.
Well, Loving Spoonful has been around for over 30 years. We've served millions of meals to people here in the community, and we started by serving meals in the West End, 100 meals a day from an apartment, and my goodness, we've grown since then. And so our clientele is HIV at this point, but as you said, we've expanded. We're excited about what's to come, and we've got some really big news on the way.
Yeah, we should say that some of the stats are just so impressive, including how many meals per year you provide, healthy meals. Are we up to around 200,000?
We are over 200,000 meals a year, and we're hoping that that's going to grow in the next couple of years.
Let's talk about the last 2 years. When I first met you through David, we were talking about all the expanded work you have done outside of the HIV community, but also to needing families, to schools. You take it from there. How has COVID changed the landscape for you guys?
Right. During COVID, we were able to identify need, different barriers to food security. So we started working with groups such as folks with disabilities, moms, single moms with kids, seniors, as well as our HIV clientele. So from there, we were able to provide meals, healthy meals. So we're looking at meals that have that are nutritionally balanced, have 3.5 ounces of protein, all those good nutrients that you need to stay healthy.
How has it been working with the schools? Is it Killarney is one of the schools here?
Yes, Killarney's is one of the schools we're doing a pilot with. It's very exciting. There's a growing need for meals in that community. And so we know that, kids do better when they have healthy meals. They can concentrate better in school. They do well. Emotionally, they're better. So this is a really important pilot that we hope to see maybe expanded throughout different schools in the area.
One of the things I love about what you guys do is you really have to keep your eye on every single penny. The fact that each meal costs only $4.33.
Yes.
You sometimes, and I'm jumping on government and throwing them under the bus, but it's remarkable how that number would go up if government's involved, because you guys, again, I know you get support, but it's all about maximizing every single dollar.
It is. I mean, here at A Loving Spoonful, we have a very impressive refrigeration system. So we've got massive freezers, massive coolers. And what that allows is for us to be able to purchase larger volume of product, which of course brings down that price.
Right.
And we're able to pass that on and give out those healthy meals with those appropriate protein portions.
Lisa, you're pretty excited because your new kitchen is about to open.
This is a really exciting moment for A Loving Spoonful. This is the dream. This is where we're going to be able to change a lot of issues around barriers to food security, particularly in the downtown east side. So we've got a building, it's over 5,000 square feet of all kitchen.
Yeah.
We renoed most of it ourselves, which is big news, and that was to save dollars. Every penny is going to go back into the community, into feeding people. So I'm really excited. We're going to have some openings. Of course, people are going to be invited and able to contribute online to help support our kitchen.
Talk to, just to wrap up, we've been talking about this journey we've been on with this episode and how important it is for what Dave is doing and having other communities involved, because your product, your food, a lot of it is coming from this food journey we've been on today.
Yes. Well, it's exciting to see the process and where the food ends up. And so, you know, working with David, the 4-H program, then of course the food coming to us, and we're able to turn that into delicious meals that then is going to be distributed to kids in our community. It just doesn't get any better than that. It's wonderful. Everybody coming together to make that happen.
It's great to see what you guys do firsthand. We were on the front lines. Mark, our camera guy, was filming and everything. It's great to see the amount of volunteers you have that are dedicated to doing this, and the drivers you say that get out and get these meals out on a weekly basis. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today on this Journey of Food episode on Our City Tonight.
Thank you so much.
Well, our last stop on this Farm to Table episode is a place that we filmed at last year with Dave. We're here at Sandbar Restaurant, and as we did last episode, Leslie's going to deliver not coffee this time, but water on her birthday.
He's got you working for a birthday.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Brilliant, like last time. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Anyways, we mentioned Dave McCann joins us here to wrap things up. Dave, we're here at Sandbar, and thank you for today.
Yeah.
An absolute wonderful show.
Dave, there's a lot of people to thank for all the support and their participation in this particular episode. We're going to leave it to you.
Well, as families usually have, I'm a senior member and I get a bit forgetful, so if I forget someone, I apologize. But I'd particularly like to thank both of you. I'd certainly like to thank Christy Kerr from the P&E. I'd like to thank Lisa Martella, who I've worked with for over 30 years at A Loving Spoonful. All the kids that have participated in this, and all the people that have made 4-H and made A Loving Spoonful, and the commitments to the community that they've made, and the people that are working with the Vancouver Sun Kids Meal Program, Adopt a School program, and the people who deliver those services in school. A huge thank you. An incredible random acts of kindness that they practice every single day.
So true, and I tell you what, before we sat down up here, folks, we were there to observe you and another great group of people that were part of the official commemoration of the family statue where we began the show, that included a very touching letter to you from our former Prime Minister.
I actually got it this morning, the final draft of it, the final copy, at 1:45 in the morning, our time, and that is 4:30 in the morning. My understanding that Mr. Critchin was crying occasionally as it was written. And family, as Elaine Critchin said, is those to whom you open your heart to. And I was talking to Jean Critchin about a year ago, and he said, and I was telling him about some of the art that I've installed in the Creek House, and he said, you should dedicate it to some people. And I thought, what a wonderful idea. So the first person I decided to dedicate it to was to Elaine Critchin. And I think Elaine Critchin's comments that family is who you open your heart to is what really this episode is about. 4-H, A Loving Spoonful, the kids' meal program in the school, and so much more are all part of my extended family.
And she is on she's part of the commemoration.
That's right.
On the plaque,
She is.
the Prime Minister's late wife. It was also touching to see a number of family members get up and talk about their experiences and how important it is, though their loved ones are gone, the names are there for eternity, let's say.
I think part of it was inspirational. I mean, you talked to the one family whose daughter passed away, and 5 families, her heart, her lungs, you know, someone can see now because they gave it corneas. I mean, what an inspiration. And families prepared to talk about the pain of losing their child to fentanyl or to a tragic car accident. Basically saying, learn from our experiences. We're prepared to share their stories so that we can be better as a society going forward. And that's what family's all about.
Well, you're certainly the head of a really great family here at Creek House and all around, and we've witnessed a lot of your great, I don't call them causes, but your participation in a lot of charitable projects, and we certainly look forward to always being in touch with you because there's so much, you're always just got your fingers in all these great projects, Dave.
I have a couple more ideas to share with you going forward.
Oh, I know. There's one that you and I talked about the other day that we will not reveal now, but we'll talk to our viewers as it comes up. Hey, again, thanks, Dave, and to all the folks that were part of this episode, Farm to Table episode. It was, for me personally, I said to you the other day, it was just nice to get out to Pitt Meadows where I tuck in and be on a quiet farm, not any busy traffic, but all Dave's information, of course, will be in our closing credits. Thanks to the folks at Sandbar as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thanks.
Well, Lita, we're wrapping up where we began the show with the family statue behind us here in Creek House on Grand Island.
Yeah, what a great, fun, very exciting and interesting episode.
Yeah, and we always have that social media thing you do for our viewers.
Of course. Don't forget to check us out on all our social media platforms at Our City Tonight on Facebook as well as Instagram. We'd love to hear your ideas, as well as don't forget all the past episodes of Our City Tonight are on our YouTube channel.
That's right. Hey, big thanks again to Dave McCann and everybody at Creek House. I'm Jim Gordon.
And I'm Lita Leapins.
We will see you on the next edition. Into September we are on the next edition of Our City Tonight. Don't forget to check out past episodes and individual interviews, all on the Our City Tonight YouTube channel. Outdoor wear for Jim and Lita provided by Helly Hansen, alive since 1877. The Richmond Sentinel, providing news, entertainment, and human interest stories in print and online.